about dating like in your 40s and 50s back then?
You know, you think that when you're ready to settle down, that there's always going to be a lot of supply on the shelves,
Mm,
and it's not. Like at this age, a lot of the good guys are married
mm,
or taken because they're good guys. And I was having a conversation with a girlfriend of mine the other day, and I'm like, well, your best bet now is maybe someone that a good man that maybe is coming out of a marriage, getting a divorce. So, I think in our youth, and I would like people to know this when they're younger, we think, oh, there's always going to be an endless supply.
mm,
I, I can wait till tomorrow. Don't put off your happiness waiting.
mm,
You know, if you find that good person, like a lot of times we wait, well, it's not the right time. It's never going to be like the right time.
mm.
I would say go for it more. I wish I would have someone told me just go for it. I probably have overlooked a good candidate before, like
Why
maybe
is that though?
me thinking the timing thing,
Um,
maybe prioritizing career.
mm,
I definitely was always like work, 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 work. I never thought I had could like the enough cushion built up to like relax and take my foot off the gas
mm.
and start a family.
And then did that just go on and on
Yeah.
and on, and then you be 100 years old, now you like it's
Damn
still
it,
working.
still working. And I think I will say specifically with Black women, especially, I feel like we don't really have the luxury to think that we can kind of take time off like that,
Mm,
And I specifically say Black women because like we're usually the backbone of everything,
mm,
not even just with our families, but with our friend circles. Like it's always something for us to do. We're always taking care of somebody else. I
mm.
don't have children, but I'm always like feeding a friend or taking care of someone or helping somebody out or
Yes.
doing a favor. And I think that's a cape that we put on ourselves. No one told us to do this. It's just something in us that we do. And if you think about the Black woman in your life, you probably
Mm.
think, "Damn, she's like a superwoman for everybody else. When does she slow down for herself?" I think with Black women specifically, it's harder for us to ever feel like we can just kind of take a break.
Mm.
We have to be like all gas, no brakes. I don't think we have the luxury of feeling like, okay, I can take a breather now and relax.
Mm.
That sounds like a man. And I'm not saying that in a way to be facetious or to be mean, but that mentality is very masculine. You can ask most successful men, they never feel like they can take their foot off the gas. Even when on vacation, they're working. Even when they're home, they're working. Even when they're sitting at a restaurant or dinner or on a date, part of their brain is working out a problem like the old Windows computer running things in the background, slowing up the entire process. It's a masculine sort of affect, a way of being. And I'm not saying this again, not to be derogatory, not to be mean, not to take away from her story, but a lot of this we have to realize is self-imposed. Like she's alludes to that. It's a self-imposed. So when things are self-imposed, it's upon you to fix it. It's upon you to go out and say, this is what I'm doing right here does not serve me and does not serve ultimately where I want to go, what I want to create, the type of life I want. And we'll let her finish. She goes into a little bit more, but I want to address just the thing she mentioned first. But before we do that, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss no uploads. Still trying to do 2 a day. So if you don't see videos from me, if you don't get an alert, either I screwed up in scheduling it, but you'll see definitely 2 a day, right? Sometimes you got to check your notification bell if you actually don't receive notifications. You know you've been subscribed, especially if you're OG. Shout out to you guys. So one of the things before I let it continue, I want to talk about specifically is the idea that there was always going to be a man available. And this is something that isn't new news. It's something that the internet, the manosphere space has brought to people's attention. Specific creators talked about it. There is a notion, there's an idea, a belief that you can get your life sorted. You can do whatever you need to do with your own life, get it taken care of. And then when you are ready, you can go ahead and pick a man off the man tree. It's always growing, it's always available. That there's always going to be a man that is desirous of you and a quality one at that. He'll always be available for a woman that has made something herself. And for the longest time, men just sort of kind of went with that. Not saying that we move like that, but we never challenged the narrative. We never pushed back and said, that's actually not accurate. You can do whatever you want. That man's still going to have the things that he wants. He's still going to have his preferences. And when you fall out of that range, where you're no longer the things he's looking for, just because you are credentialed, just because you are successful, hell, just even because you're gorgeous, which we can give that to her. At 52 years old, she looks phenomenal. But like she's saying, she's missed that mark because the men that now are on that level, they're not looking for a 52-year-old Claudia Jordan. They're looking and saying, well, I've done the things that made me successful and made me the new apple of people's eyes. I'm the thing they sit there and describe when they go through their checklist. So I'm going to try and get what I want or close enough to the things that I want. Telling women or instructing women that they have all the time in the world is one of the biggest lies I think we've given to them or we've taught them over the years. We understand there's a fertility window, but if that's not important to you, that's fine. But then there is an attraction window. There's a desirability window. We don't talk about either of those enough, especially because and to be fair, it sounds foreign when you're young. What are you talking about? I'm always going to be in vogue. I'm always going to be attractive. Because so far that has panned out. And now that we have the ability for you to reach out and talk to anyone or be talked to by anyone, well, you have a couple celebrities, big name celebrities in your DMs. I saw another post where men were saying, you have a baddie for a girlfriend. You do not look at her DMs. You will be disgusted by the type of access that she's afforded until you age out. And what I've said on this channel before is we need more real conversations like this, where women are saying, yeah, these are the things I kind of wish I did better. Not that I regret my life, not that I don't, but sometimes the decisions or ways I probably would have slowed down a bit and said, yeah, this is kind of what I want. I watched a bit of the extended, the full interview, and she said, yeah, I passed over a couple of men that probably could have been good for me because I wanted to keep pushing. I wanted to keep going. I never felt I was ready. That type of financial insecurity is still real. And again, that's the thing that a lot of men struggle with. Even men that want to have families, they always feel like maybe it's not enough. Maybe if I do just a little more, a little more, a little more, a little more. The little more never ends. It never ends. There's always more to do. There's always more to want. There's always more to perfect.
And I think it's really sad. There's all these statistics about 45%, 65% of Black women will never get married, and we're out here taking care of everybody else and not getting taken care of. And I think it's really sad. I think we self-impose this cape on ourselves to save the world. Look at all the marches. Look at all, I know this is dating, but I got to bring it into like the political space. We're always at the front lines for everybody else. For everybody. Brother gets killed, we're in the front lines. The LGBTQ community, we're in the front lines. Other women that are not even showing that up as our allies, we're in the front lines. Gaza, front line. We're always there for everybody else. And on top of all the stuff in our personal lives, we out here trying to save the world. When does that leave time to like really feel comfortable? When does that really leave time to like relax or even just like put yourself first or dating? And I just feel like a lot of women get caught up in saving the world and then they leave little time for themselves.
Oh, I think she's spot on there. And one thing that we don't talk about enough, and it's hard to parse. It's hard to parse this out. Where you being the front lines, marching, representing communities that don't look like your own, that may include this cross sectionality there, or people that are across the world, and you want to champion these causes. And I don't want this to be misunderstood as if I'm saying these things are not worthy causes to take up. But you can't pour from an empty cup. When your community is currently suffering and not doing well, and if we just leave it to relations, right? We'll leave the politics aside. Relationally, you stepping up to be the cross bearer for everyone else around you does not mean you then get that sort of respect relationally. There are still things that we are bad at in terms of relating to each other, men and women, Black men and women. That on the side, you step out and you're the forefront, the cross bearer for so many other causes, does not fix the relational issues. You could be great for everything else, even representing even coming to defend the Black men. That gets you love and respect, but not in the sense of now I will make you a wife, because you still have to be good at that. I can love and respect that you are right there to take the bullet, that you are right there to take the political bullet. And I love you for that, and I should then be willing to protect you in the same sort of vein. That does not mean I open my house to you. Does not mean I open my heart to you. We often see this, that there's this confusion. We do so much of Black men. We do so much of everyone else in the world. Well, how come we're not loved? Again, I can love you in that specific regard. And I can respect you in that specific regard and be ready to jump and help you in the same causes, as long as they're causes I still also believe in. It's not a blanket thing that because I do X, you get to, then entitled to Y. It's the very same way men will do things for women and she'll turn around and say, I've never asked you to do that. I never asked you to do that. And that does not improve our relationship. I'm doing all these things I think that are helpful. I'm paying for this. I'm paying for that. I never asked you to do that. I asked you to love me in this way, to talk and communicate with me, to show you effort. I ask you these things. It's the same thing men are saying. I'm asking you these things. You're doing everything else, and you're doing them well. You're doing them poorly, but you're doing everything else. But the thing that men are saying, hey, these are things that are important to us. Those don't seem to register until you're 52. Talk to the shade room. Listen, if you think I missed something, let me know down in the comments. See videos on your screen right now. Take a look at those. Let me know your thoughts about those within those videos. And of course, you listen to my voice and you haven't subscribed. We're just trying to pay the rent. Come on, join the channel. I'll see you in the next one.